Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Real Talk Mic Drop. And can you please do the favors? Podcast, baby.
Put the microphone.
Where is it? It's under my chair. With your host, I.Ortiz.
Yeah, baby. I'm here, and the ratings just got higher because the amazing, awesome me, baby. Okay, I'm just kidding. Matt Vine, one of the, I think, gonna be a big deal in wrestling soon enough. I don't know when, but it's gotta be soon. Matt, I gotta say, I'm shocked. I'm shocked you're in the podcast. I'm very honored, actually. And let me ask you, how did it all start? Was it always like wrestling as a kid?
No. And I've said this several times. Like, I watched it as a kid, but for me, growing up, most of the stuff ended up becoming like, it's like baseball. My old man got us a pitching machine, a batting cage, a 32 baseball feeder. He got us a pitcher's mound. He really wanted to shove baseball down our throats, and I always had the memory of watching wrestling as a kid, but as soon as baseball wasn't going to work out for me, I started picking up on wrestling once again, and that's when I tuned in and I saw, I think it was Johnny Nitro at the time versus John Cena, and that's when I was like, oh wow, this is really cool. I was so like dumbfounded and awestruck that I was like, wow, I got to get back into this, and I had to rewatch everything, and I was excited. It was so not new, but it was like such a rewind for me that when I started watching again, I didn't even like know it was only a weekly thing. I thought it was every day. So I tuned back in at the same time the next day and see if it was still on or wasn't on.
So I think that's around like 2006 or 5, would it be?
I'd be anywhere between 6, I would say 7. Almost a 7, yeah.
And like, you're a big guy, it's obvious, you're right. But like, were you always like swole as in high school, or?
In high school, I went into high school about 155 pounds. I left at just under 200 pounds. So I wasn't always like as big as I am now, obviously, but I did put on a good 40 pounds over the 4 years in high school.
When did you like start working out? Like,
sophomore year in high school, I started picking up weights. That was the big, yeah, because they wouldn't let us our freshman year. So sophomore year was when they were like allowed to pick up weights, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. So everybody seemed to be into it back then.
And like your wrestling career, like, I don't know how that happened. Like, can you explain like what happened? Like, how did you even get started with it? And like,
so when I left baseball, I started looking around, and a friend of mine actually, we would just roll around either in his basement or mine, pantomiming the moves that we'd see on TV, and he found this place to go see, and he's like, I think I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to do it, so I'll go if you go. Well, the day of going, I go, and I'm calling him up, I'm like, you ready to go? He's like, well, I'm not going. I'm like, well, I'm already ready to go. I got all my stuff. Let's go. So go there and go check it out. I'm like, oh, well, this looks pretty fun. Felt it was like, got to watch what they did, and then I just signed up and started paying my dues and whatnot. So that's how I got into it. I found a school out in Chicagoland, and ever since then, just never looked back. But I'm not gonna say like I stayed there. I only stayed there for about a year and a half, maybe.
And then was it Premier Pro Wrestling after?
As soon as that was over with, I had a little bit of time. I went out to a place. I did a match for a company, Vanguard, and they're just like all these places are not debunked. So Vanguard was one. I did a show called I don't even know. It was sponsored by 105.1 La Cabuena. It was La Coleccionista. Well, it was like a mix of like American wrestler and lucha libre wrestlers. So that was a couple of us. They had a few shows, one on Elgin, one at the Olympic Theater, which like it was crazy back then because they had like 3,000 people at the Olympic Theater. Still to this day, probably the biggest show I ever did.
3,000?
3,000 people at the Olympic Theater to this day. Still the biggest show I ever did.
How is that feeling, just like wrestling to 3,000 people?
Well, it was weird because you're up on the stage where the theater is, right? And everybody else is just straight back. There's no sides per se, really.
It's not in the middle. It's just.
It's not in the middle. It was a little different than your typical setup. So everything was placated towards that front, you know. But it was like just 3,000 all the way back up, and they had upper rafters and stuff like that for all the rich people that wanted to sponsor. It was I think it was actually a charity show, but there was investors for it too that had like an upper. They had the upper deck and the skybox and all, you know, like rich people at an opera. It was pretty. It was that was fun. The match was. I mean, looking back at it now, for me, I was like, this match is total garbage, but.
It wasn't a good match. You just like.
I honestly, I don't even remember it. There's like bits and clips. I know who I wrestled. I don't even really remember the match itself.
You just remember, you know, the crowd and you know.
That was the biggest thing, is because I just look out and I see just a sea of people, about 80% like Hispanic or Mexican, and just chanting shit at me that I don't even know what the hell they're saying, you know. So
yeah, they do that, you know, with their drums and shit. I don't fucking know how they get that.
Yeah, they got those loud horns. Those I actually kind of miss. I would welcome that any day now. It's like nobody gets into it like a Mexican crowd. That's for sure.
I've been there, you know, since I'm Mexican or whatever. There's like people that bring drums to a wrestling show and like the
spinners, yeah.
They really go crazy for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I wanted to do, lucha libre, but like I kind of learned real wrestling, you know.
Yeah. Real wrestling is unique. That's what I was telling. I forgot who I was telling this recently, but like lucha libre is, you know, it's great. It's got its audience, but like wherever you go, like that's one thing is like Vince's wrestling. If you can work for Vince or that kind of style, that kind of TV wrestling, their house shows, all their well-rounded aspect, you can wrestle anywhere in the freaking world. Yeah. Like you think about it this way, like Lucha Libre LLT or not LLT, AAA, CMLL, yeah, they bring in Americans all the time. You know, Japan, its own niche audience. They have their own style out there. Europe, England, they have their own style out there. They bring in all these American wrestlers and whatnot to work over there too, because that stuff's universal. It works everywhere.
Yeah, and like lucha libre is kind of limited to what you can do. You know, you're just doing spot after spot. You know, it's kind of like I understand. It kind of gets tiring sometimes. You know, sometimes I want to see like story time, like storytelling in the ring. You know what I mean?
That's what wrestling is. It's just building a story.
And I didn't know you went to like different promotions before you went to PPW. I thought it was like strictly just PPW the entire time.
Yeah. I had to bounce around before I found my home, primarily because of what happened with the first place I was with. There's bad blood between the two of us, and I don't think it'll ever get fixed. At the end of the day, I know I made a better decision because, to the naked eye, they sound pretty good and they look pretty good, but you go there and you see it's just like it's night and day difference. They have no idea what the hell they're doing, and they're just taking action figure wrestling dolls and throwing them in the ring. Most of the girls there, I know one in particular who can't wrestle, so she hikes up her shorts as high as she can. So I thought this was unfiltered. I'm sorry. Oh, should I just take that back? Should I take that back?
You can say whatever you want.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's the only way that she can get over because she never really learned how to wrestle in the first place. So that's just me, stating it like it is. So,
and let's talk about like indie wrestling. Like, you would never do it, right?
What do you mean?
Like, go to like indie promotions to wrestle.
Just strictly indie wrestling?
Like, or anywhere, just bounce around.
Like, do that while building towards something or no?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, I'll answer it like this. Like, indie wrestling, for the most part, is garbage. It's, in my opinion at least, it's just guys that are trying, like, if this is what you're for, that's fine, you go ahead and do it. Just don't try and talk to me like you know more about the business than I do at this point then. Like, cause a lot of people come up and say, oh, this is how you do it, this is how you get noticed, how you get over this. No, everybody that works on the indies and strictly the indies, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. The only way to learn something and actually get somewhere with something is to learn from people who've been somewhere, done something in this business. So for me, like, my indies consist of, well, if you want to say PPW, whatever, PPW with under Casey James and Randy. Randy has been in Memphis, World Class Championship, production manager for TNA, into Puerto Rico. Casey James, Puerto Rico, OVW, WWE. Good people to learn from. OVW right now, there's Al Snow, there's Doug Basham, there's Adam Revolver, who learned from Danny Davis, who I didn't even know this at first, but Doug Basham is the nephew of Danny Davis, who used to own and run OVW. Reality of Wrestling, Booker T. It really doesn't get much better than all those names that I just mentioned. So it's like, why, if you're gonna drive around and travel for $40 or $60 or $80 or whatever it is, without getting gas or whatever it is to go all these miles, why don't you go to a place that's around you that has a trainer? Like in Vegas, even I think D'Lo Brown trains in Vegas, to where if you're going to travel and do all these indie shots, why not just go to this place and learn as much as you can from these people before you even venture out and do whatever it is you want to do. If you hit that point of like, not like, oh, fuck it, but you know, wrestling's never going to pan out for me now, I'm going to do it for fun. Yeah, sure, go ahead, be an indie wrestler. Be the best damn indie wrestler you want to be. If you don't want to do anything in wrestling and you just want to be the weekend warrior, go ahead, that's fine. But for me, it's like, I'm one of those guys who take it seriously, and whether or not it works out for me, at least I know that what I've learned is correct. Does that make sense? So if I do an indie shot, it's like, you might be paying me a pretty good penny. Because from what I've done with certain indies, like I get, you know, decent money plus transit. So if that answers that.
That's a good answer. And like, well, you're the one of the first people from PPW, right? Like, I think
first, I came in at PPW 10, so I don't know what you mean by first.
Around like the pioneers of PPW, the ones that like built it up.
That okay, I'll take credit for that. When they started their YouTube channel, I was one of the people that were there, and it was not. It was up until they changed my face off the thumbnail that they grew up to about 42,000 subscribers. Then they changed my face off the thumbnail and put new Sem on there, and they've been at 48. And it's been like that for the last 2 or 3 years. So yeah, take that for what you want, but that's all I'm gonna say about that.
And there's like a lot of guys in the comments saying how hot you are or whatever. I think. What do you think about that, man?
No comment on that. I see a couple of those too, and it's always like,
it's guys.
Yeah, I know, it's dudes, and it's like, listen, man, I'm good. You know, I don't swing on that side of the plate, but thank you. You know, and it's always sometimes the same stuff. Like, I mean, that's all I can say is thank you. You know, thank you.
Yeah. I always see like
there's one guy on there.
Comments,
What's the guy? Some Scissors, like Vic Scissors or something like that. He's always like, you know what he should have done there is put him in a head scissors. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, I see
Needs
that
more
shit.
head scissors in there at 5:45. Should have put him in a scissors. Ugh, god.
I see that too, and you know, when I first heard of PPW, I saw you and your promos. I was like, oh shit, man, your promos, they're good. They're good.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm not really a fan of my promos,
No,
but you know,
that's the first thing I saw when I looked at PPW. I'm like, I was like looking around at the promos, saw some people kind of like some shit, and then I saw you, the gold man,
the gold man.
Promos. I think you're good.
Thank you. Sure. Well, I was actually impressed when you actually first started picking up a microphone and started talking, because that was one thing I was like, wow, there's something there that you're like, dude, if all this guy does is just talk, like
I love being on the microphone.
It was really good, because like it was so easy to want to hate you. You know, I was like, oh my god, this guy's such a dick.
Yeah.
Not even a dick, like just conceited little shit that I want to just punch in the face, which is good. That's good, because a lot of people is like, okay, it's his job, you know. It's like, oh, I wanted to like him. Like, good, like him for being that bad, like being that bad of a person. Like, he thinks he's this hot sauce, you know. It's but whatever. That was the best thing, dude. I was like, if you just did that, that would have been like, you would have had, like, you probably could have just like catapulted by just focusing on that and just going anywhere, and then maybe coming in the ring and taking a couple bumps. Like, you would have been perfect.
I'd still do it, honestly.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just felt like kind of like drained every week, and then I wasn't like in a good headset, you know. And just, you know, I didn't feel part of the roster, you know, sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially back at that point, like, and I think, you know, looking back at it, and I know who we're talking about, and what we're talking about, but like the people that made you feel unwelcome. I bet you at one point it was probably me, but the whole mindset, you know, the mindset of it was like, you know, okay, you can kind of talk, but like, can't do anything. Well, if you don't want to do anything in the ring and you just want to be this, you know, this talking figure, like, focus on that. You know, like, you should be like, hey, you know, I don't necessarily want to wrestle, but I want to talk, and maybe I'll come in and take a bump or whatever. But like, they didn't want to do that. They wanted you in the ring as well, and it was like, that was something I didn't really agree with.
Yeah, like, it still hurts here. Like, I would take a bump, or like maybe like go back for one more match for Lulu, because that would be easy. But like, that's about it. Like, I love talking on the mic. Like,
You came back and you managed like anybody really, and you just talked, and you worked on honing your skills. It's just talking. Like, is this too much to say, or is this too little to say? Is this enough? This is just right now. You got that. I guarantee you can talk people. With the way it was starting, the way it could have been, yeah, you could just end up talking people into it. Like, that's how good it was.
I just didn't like that I had to like manage like more people than I had to already.
How many people did you end up managing?
Like fucking like 3 other people. I'm just like, yo.
I know you had Poncho.
I had Chase, Poncho.
You had Chase too?
Yeah. And
I bet.
Spawn.
But you didn't really get to talk that much with Chase, though.
Not really.
Because he was a wordsmith himself. So, wow. Okay. I didn't know that. I thought it was just Poncho and Inestra.
Bro, no, it was like a lot of people. I'm just like, this is more work than I agreed for, you know?
Yeah.
Why do I have to speak with Taco? I'm not Taco Spawn. Psycho Spawn.
Oh, you had to talk for Psycho Spawn.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, well, you can use you now.
Yeah, it was too much, you know. I just wanted to put over Poncho, because he's like awkward. He goes like this, and just like, he doesn't really talk, and I kind of wanted to talk to for him, you know what I mean?
I think he's coming out of his shell a little bit.
I see that.
Yeah, a little bit now, which is kind of good. You know, that's a good thing, you know, for him. It's because he needs that to get that charismatic ending pulled out of him.
Yeah, like I think he has charisma, but like he has to like have mic skills too, and like in order to like go anywhere farther, you know, You can't just be like a good wrestler, I believe, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a process. There's certain things that people aren't just necessarily like the greatest at, you know, and
He's
some
good
of that stuff.
wrestler.
He's good. Yeah, he's getting there. He's definitely getting there. He's, you look at him from a year ago to now. It's
Yeah.
it's just the difference is astronomical. It's really a blatant difference. Yeah. So that's another thing that I don't think, like, when he looks at himself, like, he doesn't see how much better he is from where he was a year ago. And you know, because it's hard because you don't really see where you were a year ago and how it was, but unless you go back and watch all those matches, which I'm not gonna, like, for me, I don't even watch myself.
You don't watch your matches?
I'll watch like certain, like, if I can have easy access to it, and I'll go back and I'll nitpick
Definitely.
here and there. Like, okay, this is what I gotta do. This because I gotta study my shit. You know, like, okay, I can do this instead of this or that. But if I don't have ready access of it and it gets posted like 3 weeks later, I'm not going back and watching it.
Yeah, and that's something I wish I had access to my matches, but I don't want to like pay to watch myself.
Yeah,
You know what I mean,
yeah. There's certain things that I think they should be, especially with the way it is right now. They should be posting some of those things like just on the YouTube to help that YouTube growth again. Because the growth, they're like, don't get me wrong, like they got a lot of subscription, but they don't have the viewing to match it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that they should double their subscription before they just be like, hold off, you got to pay for this.
yeah. There's like some good matches that should be posted, like with my trio versus Jose trio.
Yeah, yeah, and like even still, like now they're doing like if we're talking straight, you know, the way I would do it, which, you know, is not. I don't run the place. I just work there. So
I thought you did for a second.
yeah. What do you mean?
I thought you were like a co-owner or something because you were there for so long. I just
Yeah, I'm just, you know.
You just went there.
Yeah, I just work there. I'm like what Santino Marella said about Casey James was he's like the best wrestler to never make it. I'm just like, I'm a good wrestler that's not making it right now. So
Man.
it's just right now, but we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see. But the way I would do it is if you got all these shows that are building up to this one big weekend, this one big Saturday show, just post the other 3 shows.
Yeah.
Post them on there, and then the big one you can keep to, like, here, pay for this.
Yeah. And yeah, I just like want to watch my matches, but, you know, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm still surprised that you. I thought you were the co-owner, man. Honestly.
No, man, I have absolutely no affiliation with that place financially. None.
You're like the face.
None. Zero.
Yeah.
Zero.
And
I work the hardest there. That's really the only I guess the difference between me and a lot of those people is I was always there, and I was there when I wasn't even supposed to be.
yeah.
You know, and just putting in a lot of work with a lot of different people, like Ronnie Metro when he was around, and him and I worked the hardest. To this day, I don't think anybody's worked as hard as we did trying to get to where we wanted to go.
I heard Ronnie Metro was a cool guy.
He was a cool guy. I haven't talked to him in years, but he was a great guy to have around. Great guy to have around. A character that was just, his depth had no end. You know, it was something different. And even before he came up with the bipolar schizophrenic character that he was, he had this other thing, like a rare breed, and even after that, the metrosexual Ronnie Metro. It was anything that he could have done, he could have ran with, which was really cool. And he was really good at facials and interacting with a lot of people. He had a legitimate chance to break through. Yeah, break through and become a good in-ring talent too, but for some reason he blocked himself and left twice.
Man. And speaking of characters, like, which character was one of your favorite characters you played? You know, whether it be like the Gladiator Man or...
Oh man, to be honest, and I miss this so much. It's just like I like being like when I was young, dude. I was so cocky, and to this day, like I can do that so much better than anybody else. You know, just being a cocky asshole. It's like so easy to do. And even if I was a baby face, just be this overconfident, just a guy who exudes so much confidence and whatnot. But like what I'm doing now is kind of cool. But I had this idea for what I'm doing now, or what I'm doing at NWA, which is like an instant classic. Like every time you see this guy in the ring, you're gonna watch it as an
Instant classic.
Yeah.
Matt Line.
Yeah.
Is that Goodfella too, or?
No, well, like it's right in certain places. They kind of go hand in hand. Like OVW is kind of hand in, or Reality of Wrestling is kind of hand in hand right now. I came out to Goodfella on the Titantron, and then my trunk said Instant Classic, and they were chanting Instant Classic.
Yeah.
So it was really cool because this was the first time they, not the first time they threw me on their actual TV. So it was really cool to get the reaction that I got over at Reality. So
How was NWA like going there to face Trevor Murdoch?
well, it actually didn't happen. Yeah, me and Trevor did not happen. It was supposed to up until the final hour. D.H. Smith or David Hart Smith was supposed to wrestle Mike Knox. D.H. Smith no-showed the show or had something come up. I don't know exactly what it was. I don't think it was any fault of his or anybody at fault. Like, she just couldn't make the show. And Mike Knox needed opponents, and they threw in with Trevor. They gave me a guy named Eric Jackson. Good guy, good kid. He's got a good future ahead of him. And we had him and I had a match. It's actually going to air next week.
Oh, I was trying to look for the Trevor Murdoch versus Matt Line.
It'll come one day, hopefully. But I was hoping for that too. But that
I was looking everywhere. I was just like,
didn't happen.
Where the fuck is it, man?
But now I'm going to go around, and I guarantee you this: I'm going to say that Trevor Murdoch was too afraid of wrestling Matt Line, so he tried to get out and fight Mike Knox instead.
Yeah. You're somebody I would be afraid of in the ring.
Well, you think I'm a terrifying individual? You see Mike Knox and Trevor Murdoch. They are huge people. Well, yeah, like Trevor is about 6'2", and he's just a big human being. Mike Knox is legit 6'4". He's a big human being.
Crap.
Big human being.
How tall are you?
6'1". 6'1".
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was scared of you, and then I came to a PPW.
Yeah, well, at PPW, I'm one of the bigger guys, so easily. But I walk into Reality Wrestling, OVW, NWA, not the same case. Like, I'm a bigger guy at OVW. I'm still, I would say, probably same tier there, maybe taking down a peg or two. At OVW, in Reality, same thing, maybe taking down a peg or two. But NWA, Nick Aldis, Tom Latimer, Chris Masters.
Yeah.
Brodus, Tyrus, whatever he's called himself now. Big dudes. Big dudes. Jay Bradley, 6'6".
And you got to learn stuff from them?
I got to talk to Aldis. I talked to Latimer quite a bit. I got to talk to I talked to Murdoch quite a bit too. So I had to talk to him. I didn't really learn anything from him per se, because I didn't get to ask them any of those kind of questions. At least not yet.
Yeah, obviously. I don't know, man. I just felt like you're gonna be big, man. I know it. I've seen it, man. You got it all. You got the promos, the wrestling style, the faces, just the heat, everything, man.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. It's not over yet. I actually had this conversation with Booker, where it's like, what are your goals? I'm like, I don't know if my goals are attainable right now. We'll see. He's like, well, how old are you? And I tell him how old I am. And he's like, you can still do something.
Yeah, it's never too late, I believe,
Yeah. It's just, so if Book thinks that I stand a chance still in this business, I guess I'll take his word for it.
Yeah, Booker T is one of those guys that just like, you gotta listen to him,
Yeah, definitely.
And what happened to this is one of my questions. What happened to the Gladiator match?
So like we were saying, gladiator gimmick, that's dead with all the gladiators, like it should be. Honestly, like I see it as like a nowhere street. Like there was 3 people doing it at the time too, and it's just like, you know, it's not original as far as I'm concerned. It's not a person of like, the best thing is it's not who you are, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. I think it's limited to what you can do. Like
sure, but like I mean, the other thing of it is too is. Hi, Maya. I think it's limited to.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. It's limited to just being this character, which you really can't. Like, for example, like a modern day gladiator, right? Like, well, anybody that gets in that ring is considered a modern day gladiator. Football players are considered modern day gladiators. People that bust their ass, go to the gym, get big, and go in there and they go to war with either another team or another individual. And also just dress up like a guy that's from a bygone era.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool thing. I thought Matt Meinekes was cool.
Meinekes, it was good. Everything that they do is they just do this play on the name of my work name. Like, they used to go Vine Buster for Spine Buster, Vine Back for Ride Back.
Vine 19.
Vine 19. Yeah, I forgot about that one. That one I should start doing again.
Is it your idea to put your name in?
Hell no.
No,
that was bestowed upon me, and it's stuck ever since. It's just like everybody calls me Vine instead of my actual name. It's like it's never. It's like everything else. It ain't going away.
Yeah, like I'm okay with people calling me Ivan.
Yeah.
When people say I'm just like, it works different ways, you know.
Yeah.
I don't mind, but I thought that was you, honestly. Like, that puts your name on your moves.
Nah.
Like Vine 19. What the fuck
the
is
Vine
that?
driver for the pilot driver. Oh god,
Oh,
no,
man.
that was.
You're not that conceited, right?
No, that was incepted by. Oh god, who was that? His name was Mirko Joe Cobb, and then Randy just kept placating on that, placating on that, placating on that. Everything else I did just had Vine in front of it.
I mean, it's. I don't know. There's different opinions
Well,
about that.
yeah, well, I have a different opinion of it, but you know, it's stuck, so I can't really do nothing about it.
Yeah, I thought the Vine 19 was a funny ass name to just put Vine 19.
Yeah, well, that was probably the best one out of all of them, to be honest with you. So
I don't like the Vine Buster much.
no, I wasn't. It doesn't really flow. It's like Vine Driver. It's like Vine Kick. No,
that's not something that's gonna.
No, that one never stuck. Thank God. So I can change the name of that one.
Vine Kick. You do a sweet super kick, man.
Yeah, well, that's what they want me to do. Yeah, this. The best thing that Randy ever said is that I throw a better super kick than Shawn Michaels. After that, all the compliments started going away. But
okay, that's come on.
Yeah, it's actually a lot of people see NWA thought the same thing. OVW like that. They're like, that's your finish. That's your finish.
The super kick.
Yeah.
Whatever,
Wow.
kick, Vine kick.
Yeah, I'll call it the instant classic. How's that? There you go.
Instant classic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. But
Go ahead.
no, that's what they were telling me. Like, that should be it. And I'm like, all right, well, if I got all these people telling me the same thing, might as well just go with it.
Instant classic.
Yeah.
That's a cool name. You came up with it.
Yeah, I just gave it that from what I was calling the gimmick, so called it that at Reality of Wrestling, but I didn't get to use it. Their top guy there throws a super kick too, but he's like right here. You know, so
You get it right there, right?
Oh, I mean, where you kick? I'm saying he's like this tall.
Oh, really?
Yeah, compared to me, he comes up to about my chest. Comes up right up to a nipple.
It's like my size, right?
Even smaller.
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, so I get it right about here.
I've seen it. I don't want to take that
Yeah.
ever.
No, I was actually TW3. This guy from Wisconsin that wrestled down at OVW. He's like, dude, you throw such a beautiful super kick. You're like, I saw it, and looked ferocious, but I didn't feel anything. Well, pretty good.
Is that a
I
compliment or?
Hey, well, as long as if I'm a safe worker, I'm a safe worker. That's,
Oh, you hit it on him.
but yeah,
I was about to say okay, I understand that.
yeah.
And speaking of like working, like how is it working with Randy?
As far as
How has it been so far, like learning wise, or like learning wise, or like being in a promotion with him?
well, I'm still there, so
Yeah.
it's like he's doing
There's
something.
nothing bad
He's
about
doing
it.
something right, you
Yeah.
know. It's just I think at this point, like nobody understands him like I do.
Yeah.
So, with the exception of maybe one or two people, but when he wants to train people, he's probably the best person to learn from.
Yeah.
But like people got to prove themselves to him first. That's the biggest thing.
I think he's a genius, honestly. Like
Yeah.
the matches he just writes down, and I've learned a lot from him. Like I don't take anything for granted.
Yeah.
I definitely go there again if I'm healthy to wrestle. But everybody's leaving. It's like, what's happening, man?
Well, it's just, you gotta work with what you have sometimes, So everybody's leaving. Yeah, I know. How many times do I wrestle somebody that's ultra green or baby shit green? Just the nature of the business now.
What do you have to say for people trying to get into wrestling and like to become a wrestler?
Today's world, probably don't do it.
Don't do it?
No, this sucks up your life, man. If you want to have a normal life and whatnot, go enjoy a movie or go hang out with friends, see concerts or
Enjoy
go to
it
a
like a
wedding
Saturday
or
night
anything
or-
like that. Don't do it. Don't do it unless you really like. A lot of people think that they can do it, or they think that they love wrestling, and they find out sooner rather than later they don't know half of it.
And that's what I think happens when say they see like scrawny people on TV or like wrestlers that are skinny that are doing it. I think that it really makes other people think that they do it, but like they really give up in like a week or so. And sometimes they think that they know it all, which
They think they know more than
Do you
they
wanna
should.
talk
You're
about
like, well,
that?
yeah, God, you want to get me riled up?
this is a real talk mic drop podcast.
man.
Don't lose the microphone. But
Yeah, don't lose the microphone here again. Yeah, like the AEW is like the worst of this because they bring in all these guys that just don't look like they should even be involved in a wrestling ring, and they get to go out there. They talk since noon about what the heck they're gonna do, and excuse me. It's just a lot of this. Jim Cornette calls it Cirque du Soleil, and it's kind of close. It's pretty much nail on the head there. Just acrobatic bull crap that you got to do when you're small, but when everybody's small, what's special about doing acrobatic crap?
yeah,
So the best part is they think because they're signed to a name brand that they automatically now have all the experience and all the wherewithal to tell other people how to do a wrestling match. Like
there's always something to learn.
let me just tell you, like there's that too, and then it's just like it is so easy to get on AEW Dark. So easy. Like literally every one of my friends done it. I was involved in it. I was on standby for a match there. I was still involved in a segment backstage to be part of AEW, and it is so they're constantly looking for people to bring into AEW Dark. Constantly. A lot of people get first dibs, like Reality of Wrestling Champions on AEW Dark tonight or something like that, I think. But it's just you just fill it out, send your stuff over there, and you just keep bugging them enough, and they'll come back and contact you, and you can go have yourself Dark. Go ahead, try and get over in 3 minutes.
Yeah, I've seen wrestlers from PPW and they go there. I'm just like, that's cool. But like, I mean, I'm a fan of AEW, but like, I know there's some stuff. There's like shit that I don't like putting over like some scrawny people like Danhausen. It's like,
Oh yeah, see. I don't even really want. I can't tell you. Like, I can't watch anymore. But I heard that Danhausen guy is small and his gimmick is like beyond believability.
yeah, it's just something like that makes me ashamed of watching as a fan of wrestling, and I'm just like, damn man, if someone else sees this and I'm watching it, and it just makes me like feel like dumb.
But that's the kind of guy that's getting TV time right now, which is embarrassing to say the least.
I get mad, honestly. Yeah. Like, would you ever go to AEW just to wrestle?
Sure, I'll take Tony's money. Yeah, I'll take Tony's money. Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I'll take your money, Tony.
Yeah, like, I feel like you have a lot to offer, you know?
Yeah, but to be honest with you, I don't know if I'd fit in there because of the way I wrestle. They really want that's the haven for all the indie guys. So we're talking about like, what do you think of the indie wrestling? Like, if their aspiration is to get to AEW, go right ahead, you can have it. I'll see you in about see what happens to your career in about 5 years, if it even lasts that long. So, as well as that company. So like that, yeah. I mean that is the pros for indies.
Yeah.
You know, I guess you can say that.
It's, I guess, easy, and I don't really want it to be that easy. I kind of want it to be hard, you know.
Right. Well, it's, with the exception of like, you know, the people that are there, like even like Jericho, you see his work is just diminished greatly. It's because it's not anything with him. It's that he just knows he doesn't have to try.
Yeah.
You know, so when you don't have to try, you can go fuck off. Let's just go do let's come up with this, that, and the other stuff. You know, it's like he's on the back end of his career and he's making as much as he should if he was on the up end of his career as a top guy. So he's like, no, I'm not going to do anything stupid. I'm just going to piss about and do whatever.
That's usually what happens. He decides to put his theme song on there and just like it's good.
Obviously, he's getting he got paid to put his own theme song in there for his entrance music. Got an extra payday for that one too.
Yeah.
They pay the commentary team combined like $2 million or something like that. $2 or $3 million. That's a lot of money for a commentary team. Vince would do something that's ridiculous.
So the end goal for you is basically WWE, nothing else?
It always really was, but at this point, like, I really like how NWA operates.
It's nice.
It's very nice there. If they wanted to do something with me, I would probably consider that more than anything right now.
Yeah, NWA is nice. And what about what's that one company called? Control Your Narrative. Do you like that?
I can't even use my finish there.
Oh yeah.
No super kicks. Yeah, probably not. I mean, my trainer actually, or my coach rather, he actually coaches EC3 as well.
EC3.
Yeah.
That guy's real.
Yeah, really. Phenomenal condition, phenomenal. But he was telling me like, yeah, I got one of my other guys on there just by my word alone, and he said he would do the same thing for me. Just let it happen, but who knows? You know.
I feel like you should take it, honestly.
It's a little bit different. It's not really a wrestling company. It's more like Fight Club, the movie in a wrestling ring. You know, and it's cool. It's got its own niche, and it'll be what it is. I'm not taking away anything from the guys that work there, but it's not for me.
Yeah. You know? I don't know. I just feel like you should like move around some places sometimes and just get your name out there.
Yeah, a little bit, but like for me, I think the places that the places I've ventured out to are kind of the places where I want to be, at least for the time being.
Those are good places.
Yeah, so like, you know, I would like to do more of NWA. I'd like to do more of reality wrestling. I would like to do, you know, more of that, and then, you know, obviously if we get defenses, you know, more of that. That's what it would be for me. And then there's a few other places that I've been working at as well. Lexington, Kentucky, OVW, PVW. You know, I got a pretty hectic schedule too, plus a regular job and whatnot as well. So, that that in and of itself kind of hinders being able to go out and do this indie crap. That's why, like I said, I don't want to do this indie crap. That's like, let me drive 300 miles plus to go get paid, you know, some absurd amount number just to do 8 to 12 minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
And for what? Like, I'm pretty good on exposure bucks right now.
Yeah.
I've made a lot of exposure money. YouTube, quote unquote, YouTube subscription followers, TV exposure at 2 in the morning or whatever. You know, I'm good on that. You know, all I want to do is I want to get better. I want to be able to be ready for what I consider to be the only game in town, and that is Vince's.
Vince.
Yeah.
And do you have any dream opponents in like WWE or your favorite indies?
Yeah, some jackass named Riddle is getting a partner with him. His name's Randy Orton. I'd love to wrestle Randy Orton for at least a year straight. That'd be great. But that pipe dream's coming up. He's getting up there. He says he's got 10 years, but who knows how long it'll take for me to even get there.
Yeah. I feel like you guys have the same voice. I don't know.
That's what I've been told. When I first came in, there was a guy that looked like, not looked like, he was as tall as Randy Orton. The other one, they said, looked like him. He didn't look like him. And then they said, I sound like him. So, and it's just like, yeah, it'd be pretty cool to actually have a match with Randy Orton. Randy Orton would be cool to have a match against. Then Roman Reigns, definitely right now. Definitely Roman Reigns right now.
What, AJ Styles?
AJ's another one. AJ's definitely another one. Man, I don't know how Edge has been working lately with Edge too. For some reason, I really want to work with Elias and his brother's gimmick too.
Elias and Ezekiel?
Elias,
really?
Ezekiel. Yeah, definitely them. Or him, rather. Yeah, it's he was good. I think for him to be there that long, they had to do something with it. So,
yeah. And you've been like backstage at WWE sometimes?
Yeah. I've been. I was there. Did some work with them doing the Grubhub delivery guy. I get to work with Samoa Joe.
New Day, right?
New Day. 2 members of the New Day. Xavier and Kofi. Yeah, I think it was Kofi. No, it was just Xavier actually. Xavier, Samoa Joe. God, some of the ring announcers I think was there. The Pretty Team. Tyler Breeze and the other one, Fandango. Those guys. Matt Cardona now. Yeah, those guys. Brian Myers. So literally all those guys that were there, I got to work with them in that segment. That was fun. That was fun.
That's cool. Like, you got to hang out then with them?
Yeah, I got to hang out with them and then basically screw off the whole day while all the other indie guys from Chicago were just sitting in black suits and black pants and watching Raw or Survivor Series on a little screen like that big.
Oh man!
And they were like, "What are we gonna do?" Well, if we were gonna do anything, they were gonna have us carry Corbin out to the ring tonight. And I'm like, "Oh man, you want to do that?" And he's like, Big J Knight was like, "Hell no!" And I'm like, "Why?" He was like, "That dude is heavy."
He is.
Yeah, it's the whole thing that they were setting up.
I think
he's like, that thing is so heavy.
The king of the ring shit, right?
Yeah, when he was king of the ring, King Corbin, came out of that. How do you pull it that gurney? King of the ring. Oh God, I'm tired. Yeah, they carried him to the ring. Yeah. Oh God, he's like, yeah, that motherfucker's heavy. Oh my Jesus Christ! Well, sucks to be you. I'm gonna go back to catering and get myself some salmon, some chicken, and some rice. And he's like, "All right, man." I'm like, ta-ta. That was a great experience. Speaking of, like, Brock Lesnar would be another guy I want to work with. Yeah, easily.
That guy is scary, man.
He is the scariest human being I've ever met in my entire life.
You met him?
Oh yeah, I was as close to him as I am to you right now. The most terrifying and big all-around individual I've ever met in my life. And I've been this close to Billy Gunn, Braun Strowman, Big Show. Brock takes the cake, dude. He's the most terrifying and intimidating individual. Randy Orton I was this close to. Randy Orton's another one that the TV just does not do him justice. He is a huge individual. Huge.
I wouldn't notice because like he's like on TV.
Oh god, he looks like skinny and leaned out, but like when you see him, he comes down. Like when I saw him, he was in shorts and then like a long sleeve hoodie like this, right? And I'm like, wow, he's not really that big a guy. Nice, good calves on, good tall size, right? Whatever. Disappears for an hour, comes running down right before his segment on the show or his match for the show, and comes by, is Brock in there? So I'm oiled up and I'm like, what the fuck happened to you, dude? What's going on? Like, you were not that big an hour ago. Well, I couldn't believe him. He was huge after that hour's worth. Humongous human being.
So, who's the biggest guy you've? I think it would be the Big Show, would it?
Like all around person?
Yeah. You said Brock Lesnar though, right?
Brock Lesnar's the biggest individual, yeah. Like he's bigger than Lashley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Lashley. Well, I mean, Lashley's big here too, but he's bigger than Lashley.
And speaking of like wrestlers, like what wrestlers inspired you to be like Matt Vine? You know, or do you have any?
Definitely Randy, Randy Orton, not Richie. Randy Orton, Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect. Not really Sean. I like Sean's work, but he wasn't the inspiration for me. So like those three. Those three, really, yeah.
And what do you want to do, like wrestling wise? Like, do you want to inspire people? Do you want to like have people look up to you? And if you do, how would you do it?
I want to get to be as good enough to be like a coach, probably eventually, because I feel like I'm better at teaching this to a lot of people that are having trouble getting it. I've noticed, eventually to that point. But you got to be somewhere first. You got to make it somewhere and be able to say, "Hey, I can teach you this." Yeah, that's the general rule of thumb.
You were a good teacher, like. I mean, being scary though. I was scared of you, like as a teacher in practice matches. I'm like, oh shit, I had to go with Matt. Oh fuck. All right, because I didn't want to get you mad or anything, you know.
Yeah, there's like a lot of people, they just choose not to listen. And
yeah.
Like that frustrates me because I can tell you the same thing 6 times over. It's like after how many times do I say the same thing 6 times over and you keep messing it up? It's like we're gonna have to do something else here, you know, or. I had to turn to Randy and be like, look man, I don't think this guy's ready for the ring yet.
Yeah.
You know? So that was a little frustrating point in time for me. You know, like certain people that would mess up. Like some people, like, and you'll know, like, I'll know, like, if, you know, he's there, but he's not there. It's like, okay, here's what you need to do for next time. You know?
I remember you being so mad, like wrestling some green wrestlers. And be coming backstage like mad as fuck. I'm just like, holy shit, I do not want to wrestle you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was. God, well, I don't even remember who it was. You have so many matches now. There was one guy who I could have sworn I told the same thing like 6 times over, and it was like literally just fire up and get pissed at me. Fire up and get pissed at me. Okay, fire up and get pissed at me. Alright, fine, smack you in the head. Fire up and get pissed at me. Like, I don't understand how anybody couldn't get mad. I'm like, I can't work with this.
Yeah.
Like, you get deer in headlights. You know what happens to deer in headlights? They get run over and they die. You know, like that's it. I'm like, and then I'm told like, hey, make him look like he belongs. He doesn't belong. You know, I'm sorry, he doesn't belong.
I think I know.
Oh yeah, you made a nice little YouTube video about it.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. That irritates me more. It's like, I don't know how many times I gotta tell you the same thing over and over and over again. It's not even a wrestling thing.
Yeah.
Just get mad. Just look at me like get mad. That's
Yeah.
all I wanted him to do.
I remember refereeing one of your matches, and then you were just like, "Hey!" And then I fist bumped you, and then you're like, "No, bro, fist." He's doing close fist when he's punching me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That probably, like today, I'd pop for that. I'd be like, what the, you idiot. He punched me with his fist, not a fist bump.
I thought you were going for a fist bump, and I'm just like, oh shit, I'm probably dumb as fuck.
That I might have popped for today. That, like, maybe I was pissed about it back then, but today I laughed my ass off about that one.
Yeah.
You idiot.
Yeah, definitely. Someone I was scared to talk to, beginning, and
Yeah.
you really did, come up to me, made me feel comfortable though when in the backstage,
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing too. Is like, I'll make sure you're comfortable backstage. Especially if I'm not involved with you, and I can see what's going on. Like, you see the look on your face. Like, okay, well, let's see what's going on. Can't have that in the locker room. So, yeah, I gotta make sure. It's just paint it forward.
Yeah, and definitely I was just relieved you were there, And Matt Vine, holy crap, the face of PPW, or not really, it's like
Not anymore, but
not anymore.
Yeah, but
I think you should. You have the cool thing going on.
if
man.
they want to make money,
Yes.
whenever they want to make money again, that's fine.
Yeah, I was just confused when that happened, the switch, and I don't know.
Well, the switch happened when they found out I was going to go off and do other things like OVW stuff. I noticed it happen almost instantaneously or within a week or so.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is, man. It's just the nature of the business.
I feel you. And yeah, hopefully, I don't know, not hopefully, I don't know if you're still the face, you should be the face. Maybe the horny guys would come back and comment, oh great, maybe you should have put this picture instead of the original picture,
Yeah.
I just feel so uncomfortable when I see comments like that.
Oh, yeah, it gets me uncomfortable too, trust me. Really just like skin crawling, hair rising, it's just, ugh.
I really don't want to believe that there's like a compilation of Matt Vine hot moments.
Oh God, I think there actually is.
But I don't think there is.
No,
I
there
might search
is.
it up,
There actually is.
hopefully.
I think there's a video of like just a collection of mine. Like here at this point in this match, nice ass shot. Oh God, horrible, just horrible.
I'm sorry for that.
Yeah.
And for the end of the podcast, do you have any last words?
No, thanks for having me.
Grab the mic.
Oh, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
You dropped it.
Oh, you want me to drop it again?
Wait.
You know how this worked the last time. All right, ready for this?
Right there.
All right.
This has been the Real Talk Mic Drop. And can you do the favors, please, Matt Vine?
All right. I'm Matt Vine, and you're watching the Real Talk Mic Drop podcast.
Baby. Oh. There you go. Okay. Yep. You're good. It's getting cold outside, man.
Yeah, man. It's freezing.
If you like that video, go ahead and support us at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search up I.Ortiz or Matt Vine and get your own merchandise. And you can look as cool as us if you want to support us. Please do. And for the love of God, subscribe. Goodbye.